I am thrilled to have on longtime friend, colleague, and all around client. I guess I say your client as well. All around rock star, Andrew Stern, who is an extremely accomplished executive coach. You specialize in a wide variety of things, but it's the startup world and helping heads of organizations effectively build out their teams, speak better to themselves and to each other, and all around, just like what a pleasure to work with you.
Thanks so much for having me. And it's such a pleasure to just chat with you and just share some of my experiences of working together. I definitely put in a lot of hard work to get to where I am, but you've just helped me so much to probably do some things that I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So thanks for asking me some questions. I'd love to share how great it's been to just be friends and also work together.
Amazing. So maybe just for the viewers, let them know, like, you didn't necessarily come from a coaching background. You had some experience, but like, what was going on for you in your life when you said, there's this thing called coaching. I want to be in business for myself. I want to be able to make enough money doing this. What was that like initially? Just get a little background.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to be the beginning of a memoir of a book, but COVID hit and people got shifted around, and I find myself living at home with my parents and my wife, who was then expecting, and I just kept the house so hot, in Florida, old people. And I was like, I got to get out of this position. This is crazy. And I had experience as coach, as an employee, and I'd done it in different ways, but I literally had no idea how to just like build a business around it. Like literally no idea. And I was good at coaching, but I just couldn't fathom what it looked like to sell, what it looked like to actually build like consistent revenue. And, we got connected, and, you just opened my eyes to like the business of coaching. There's coaching and the business of coaching. And like, I might've been good at coaching, but the business of coaching, like total amateur. And
well, wait one second. That's something that I would love for you to talk a little bit more about, because there's a lot of people who probably identify with that exact same feeling of, okay, I can really help people. I know how to help people, but at the end of the day, if I know how to work for somebody else, but to build out my own business and to have my own like official coaching business, that's hard. So tell us a little bit about that gap that you sat in the front, maybe the frustration, whatever the experience was, not knowing how to do it for yourself, but knowing that you could deliver this, and sort of like knowing you could build a profitable coaching business.
yeah, I mean, I've started businesses before also. So like, it's not like business is foreign to me. And I've also coached people before. So that felt great. But like the business of coaching was just like, how do you like reach out to people? How do you structure it so people can actually get help from you? And so it was just kind of like, I don't know what to do. I literally didn't know where to start. And I remember when we started, there was just some like ground rules of like how to operate that like I just had no idea about. And I just leaned into them. I leaned into a lot of the coaching that you gave me around starting this business. And I was able to just scale very quickly because I had a structure and something to put my energy towards. And so, yeah.
I don't want to take credit from that. The fact that you were able to scale quickly, I think, speaks a lot to your willingness to actually do the work, which again, as much as I want to take all the credit for being the best coach, the best program out there, one of the things that we actually see that you uniquely, that not uniquely, but that you possess, that I think is a big ingredient for your success, is you are coachable. You do show up. You do take action. You're not there to learn just random facts. You're not there to just like kind of, but you're like, look, how do I get to this end goal? And I will implement the strategies and see what happens.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm also a coach, so I coach people, and like the easiest people to work with are those that are willing to put in the work and willing to be coachable. But if, one of the things that a coach does that's amazing, which I think you're great at as a coach of coaches, and I think I'm also good at, is you get to have the client see things that they wouldn't see otherwise, things they can do that they wouldn't do otherwise. And so I was blind, figuratively, in a lot of this areas of like the business of coaching, and you just opened my eyes to so much. And maybe it's because I'm smart, maybe it's because I work hard, but like I was able to take advantage of that. But as a good coach, I think you just enabled me to see that and to go do that. So that was really helpful, really, really helpful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What initially, I guess you could say, like, what attracted you to working with us? Obviously, Julie and I
Right.
do a lot of work together, and I think she's sort of the super, the secret weapon or not so secret weapon. But like, what attracted you to this specific project,
Right.
program, us, and what were some of like initial like fears and concerns you had around starting your business or working with us?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing was just like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of money.
Mm,
More money than I had spent on anything before. But because it's literally me investing in a business to then make revenue, I figured like, why not? Let's go for it. Because as I'm successful, it will pay for itself. But one of the things that really attracted me to you, and then also to like you and Julie, is that you guys are just real. You're very authentic, and you also have a lot of integrity. I can tell by how you speak. You actually do what you say you stand behind. Like the few times that I've peeled back the curtain of, things that you do to either, stay up to date on things that are happening, to read, to, run through walls, literally and probably figuratively and probably literally also. Um, but like the integrity that you guys bring and the genuineness that you guys bring is just like is great, and the availability that you guys have. I don't know what your availability is going to look like in the future, whether to me or to people. Like I'm sure we'll always be friends, but I don't know about me constantly asking you questions. But um, I think just you guys make sure that people actually move. There's a lot of programs out there. I've experienced and paid for some of them that people won't necessarily be there for you to actually hold your hand and help you through some things. If you need a coach and you want to coach, you want to invest in a coach, there'll be times when you just need your hand to be held, whether it's a step or two or more than that. There's some things that you just need help with, and I think you guys step in when you're needed, even if it's not during our official time together, to take me and whoever to the next step. And that's sometimes the biggest thing that makes a difference. And so that's what it continues to attract me to work with you, because that's practically what's needed sometimes to get results. And you guys are unabashedly for that. It might be like, okay, this one needs to be solved. Okay, we're complete. Okay, great. I'm going to go do other things. And like you live again, like with integrity, to show what it means to like be effective as a leader. And then lastly, just the energy that you and Julie bring to conversations. It might sound obvious when someone comes on, they're like, hey, how are you? But not everyone's like that. And it's infectious, and it keeps people reminded of their goals and their visions that they have. So I hope that's helpful for anyone listening for why I've chosen and continue to choose to work with you guys.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means
Yeah.
a lot. I actually wanted to, I didn't plan on asking you about this, but you and I have both had the experience of investing in coaching programs and watching it not pay off. And then having other experiences, like thankfully that you've had with us, where you do see that, okay, a dollar in hopefully is $3 out or whatever it might look like. So how important is that, like, in terms of like having expectations for the program? Like, do you think had you do you think if you didn't plan on making real business out of it, that would have affected how serious you are? Again, because I'm looking, there's certain kinds of people that I don't want to work with that are like, cool, I'll check it out, or yeah, maybe it'll also make me a bunch of money. Like you had, you really put me on the hot seat saying, I want to make, we'll just leave it, X amount of money a month. And I'm like, well, all right, we got to really do that. So how important is having that goal, I guess you can say? Or again, you wanted to get out, bring your wife and future son out of your parents' house. Like, how important is having those financial expectations for the investments coming into a program like this?
Um, yeah, I mean, listen, I would probably say it's everything. I mean, just from my experience personally, just to share a quick, vignette, I guess. But like, I had spent 2 days realizing that, my leadership development skills could be used to start my own coaching business, as opposed to like go work again for Fortune 500 executives. Will do that, and I am doing that, but like in my own business. And so I just in 2 days realized what it is to create your own coaching business, the financial upside, the personal flexibility, the actual impact, like all around. Um, Once I realized it and I saw it and I saw that vision, I was like, I'm going for it. I'm like, that's a skill that I came in to us working together with, but I was able to actualize that. And it's everything. If you don't know what you want, like anywhere will get you what you want. And if you kind of know what you want, then it's even worse. I mean, listen, I think you help people bring out for them what they want. But if you know what you want and you're going for it, like you can get there and you can help people get there. But if people don't know what they want and they're just like, whatever about life, like, yeah, I'd love some more money, but I don't know if I want to work hard. It's not necessarily even you have to work 80 hours a week for this. It could even be 5 incredibly focused hours a week to get. But if you know what you want, you can go for it. That's everything.
I mean, you had that crazy experience with one of your clients where like, didn't she like had this crazy growth in her business because you were able to like slow, like just, I mean, that just, what was the story on that? I mean, that'll inspire people not only to think about themselves as coaches, but some of the effects you can have. What was that client? Tell that story, that client of yours that you had. Do you remember like with the real estate business and like,
Oh yeah, of course. I
yeah.
mean, we just started. She was actually my first client or my
Okay.
second client, and
Okay.
I just called her up. I knew her for a while, and I'm like, "This is what we need to do." She was like, "Yeah, I guess so." And she was running this business. She was kind of like not sure what to do, and I was like, "We got to slow everything down here." And whatever, I called out some of the reasons why she was being distracted, some of her limiting beliefs. We just slowed things down. We took things away, and what was left was just her desire and focus of like realizing what she wanted. And then whatever, we've spent the better part of a year, and I think it was 2 weeks ago now, she's had her biggest like deal of her entire career. And with just as a quick funny story, I talk about performance coach, and one of my people I work with is literally a violinist, and she performs at like what's the famous hall in Carnegie
Carnegie.
Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She's like performed there. So for her, performance is literally like this super complicated piece in front of hundreds of people staring at you. But for this client, her performance was literally like sign a piece of paper because she needs to sign the deal. All the work was done before, and her hands literally shaking. And the person's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh, I just had too much coffee this morning." But like for her, it's like the performance of signing a piece of paper, but like it was the biggest deal she'd ever done. And and yeah, she's just so grateful to have like taken a coach on. And so I don't know what our question was, but for anyone listening who's thinking about coaching, like I said before, it really is an incredible thing to just have financial freedom, personal flexibility on time, but mostly, which is why I do it, really. Number one reason why I do it, the other two are a short second, just the impact you can have on people that are leaders of many people, and they can make a huge impact. You can make a huge impact for those people. And so that's how I get like the most like joy and pleasure from this, is seeing someone sign their biggest deal and just having a funny story of like their hand literally shaking to sign something. Yeah.
I love that you actually preempted my question, which was how is your life different as a result of building your business and having the relationship that we do. And so you mentioned that again, now you've been able to officially move out of your parents' house. You have your son. Now you guys are living independently. Your wife actually, who's an extremely talented coach and strategist herself, she's been able to take time off and work on raising the Stern family, right? So like what are I guess some of the big shifts, maybe the intangibles. Obviously, like yes, you're financially, thank God it's been lucrative for you. But what are some of the other shifts that a person should look forward to, or almost like we were saying, like expect from engaging and starting to build their coaching practice?
Totally. First of all, this is just a point that I need to make, maybe for my own personal pride. But I was living at my parents' house, but it was totally a COVID situation based on a bunch of stuff. But I was living there, and
Oh,
I
okay,
was like, I need to move out of here.
great.
I could have not lived there, but I was living there, and but it was definitely a time where I was like, okay, I need to move out of here and get this business going.
But it's crazy. Like you have so much freedom and flexibility. You're like literally like surveying different locations in the world of places that you'd like to grace with your presence. It's like unbelievable.
So like, I mean, first of all, just to share, like I'm just moving right now in a couple of weeks to like a dream home in Florida that I had to ask no one permission to. I definitely spoke to my wife about it at length. We discussed it, but like we didn't have to ask
Who's part of
anyone.
you? We assume besides her.
we,
Yeah.
we didn't have to ask anyone at all, zero. And like if I take a vacation day off, I don't need to talk to anyone. If I have clients on that day, I need to tell them. But like I only take clients Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's Monday right now. So,
You work 3 days a week. Okay, keep going.
I take clients 3 days a week. I'm definitely doing some other work Mondays and Fridays, but like Friday's totally flexible. Monday's totally flexible. The summer I spent like 7 weeks in London, time zone shift, but like I just was in London. Why not? My wife's from London, so it was great to just be in Europe. Um, and then mostly just things open up. Like I love scuba diving. And so I'm just scheduled to like get scuba certified. I don't have to ask anyone. I'm not keeping track of vacation days or anything like that. Um, Mostly just things that are like higher level, things that like I always thought about, or like thoughts that like pass by, your mind, like writing a book, or like learning just about things that, are high level philosophy or character development for me personally. Like I'm able to just have the time to do that. And I'm able to just be more relaxed, honestly. And I'm also able to like be healthy, eat healthy, because I can take the time to work out when I want to. Like no more like, oh, I wish I worked out this week. Like, oh, you just get the time to work out. You don't have to rush anywhere. Most importantly, what you said about, just my wife is like, she hasn't worked really since we've had a kid. Our kid's 6 months last week. And it's just an amazing thing for her to have that option to just do that. I'm sure we'll, God willing, maybe have more kids, and things, might be crazier. And hopefully she'll have more flexibility then. And so it's been really great for that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think, one sort of like a final question.
Yeah.
Obviously, people there's fears that come up, their own fears. Can I do this? Am I going to be good enough? A lot of times people are worried about, will this process actually deliver? Like you mentioned, it's not an inexpensive investment. Do I have the skills? Do I have will it work? So I guess for someone that's kind of sitting and considering working with us,
yeah,
what would you say? What would you say about the fears? And what would you say in advice for someone in that situation?
Sure. I guess I'd start off with my definition of courage, which is taking action in the face of fear. It's not that fear isn't there, but you just take action anyway. And, I spent a lot of time with startup founders, and a lot of them have imposter syndrome. And, people have different perspectives on imposter syndrome. My particular first step out of feeling like you don't deserve this isn't for you, is just take action. When you see yourself taking action and actually being successful, you will realize you are capable and you are able to do that. To flip from inspirational to non-inspirational, you're not going to be successful if you don't put in the work, but also like how boring would it be if we just paid someone and they just gave you a business that worked? You wouldn't have any personal growth, no ownership, no joy, and it wouldn't be yours. This is the beauty of life. This is the beauty of growing. These guys, Jacob and Julie Rupp, are amazing coaches. But like any coach on a basketball team, if someone's like, run 5 miles, and they're like, I'll just go for a walk. It's like, you're not going to get there. But if you have a good coach and they're like, go run 5 miles, you're like, wow, I can run. I know exactly what I need to do. I need to go run 5 miles and I'll be able to get to the next level. That's an incredible thing. And so, I said a couple of things now, but like, if you feel this is right for you and you feel that like this is what you are meant to do, and, the benefits are incredible, then like, get ready to put your head down and do some work. And, you won't get to 100 right away, but like 25% of the way there is awesome. And you start getting the benefits kind of like right away. So I encourage you all, if you think it's a good fit, to, just go for it. Life gives you opportunities, and take it.
Amazing. Andrew, for anyone that's looking to hire you as, or even maybe just have a conversation with you as an executive coach,
Yeah.
How do they find you? How do they follow you?
Great.
How do they learn from you?
Thanks so much. So the easiest way is you can just go on my website, or you can email me. My website is Andrew, ELLIOT Stern.com, AndrewElliottStern.com. And then my email is a@AndrewElliottStern.com. You can just shoot me an email. Check out my website. I've got some testimonials on there if you want to see what other people have done. Happy to answer any questions, share, my perspectives about Jacob and Julie if you're curious. And also, I'm sure, hopefully I'll have some spots open if someone wants to work with me. Yeah, I'd love to chat.
Outstanding. Andrew, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jacob.